for questions.
Do you have trouble sleeping tonight, getting ready for this thing? I mean, obviously you're excited, but what kind of nerves go through a coach tonight before fall camp begins?
It's kind of different because we've nowadays the rules are a little bit different. Gives you a little more chance in the summertime to spend more time with the kids. And we spend a lot of time preparing for the first 5 or 6 practices. So there's not many nerves. You're just, concentrating on what you got to get done.
Coach said he was surprised at how far along Will is at this point. Does that surprise you too? Do you expect him to be ready to go for the World Cup?
Well, I think that there's a difference between the head coach and the position coach. So I spend a lot more time with them. I remember when it happened at Boston College, his response, once he was told that this is what the injury was, there was no flinch in him, that I'll be fine. He wasn't down. He wasn't pouting. He didn't ever have this look of, that's it for me. So I always had confidence that the kid would get back. There was probably times when I said to Coach, he'll be fine, he'll be back, and he went, get out of here. There's no way. But Will was just a really hard-working country boy, as I call it, and I tell him all the time. And he's interested in the grind and getting back on his feet. I think he's doing well. He's worked hard. Like he said, though, we got to see what it's like when we get out there and start practicing every day. There's 2-a-days involved. There's a lot of work that you got to do. We got to just monitor, the swelling and see where he is.
Garrick, since the players can't do 2 days anymore, Coach Petrino said you as coaches are going to do 2 days. What does that mean, and to your knowledge, what's that going to entail?
Well, it's what we've always done. We call it a newcomers practice, but we have a young kid practice, and then a veteran practice in the evening. Then we actually go on the field, and the rules allow you to do walkthroughs at night. So the coaches will go 3 times today, and as we get going. But it's just a schedule. We think it gives us an opportunity to get better. It gives us an opportunity to emphasize and give the young guys quality time on the field with the coaches, that they're not standing behind in line and watching the 1s and the 2s get reps. That it gives us a chance to get our team better, and that's why we do it like that.
Losing those 3 starting offensive linemen, how big of shoes are those to fill, and what do you hope to see in these first 3 or 4 days?
Well, they're huge shoes to fill because all 3 guys are practicing in somebody's training camp right now. So you didn't just lose 3 seniors. You lost 3 guys that are playing in the pros now. But we feel good about our young kids. We've recruited well at the position. We just got to grind them up, get them out there in training camp, and get them game ready to understand how competitive it's going to be, snap in, snap out, in the type of games we play.
Usually, if you're coaching quarterbacks, you maybe focus in on 2 or 3 guys. What's it like to have 5 and have all of them be pretty good right now? That many.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is.
Creating more logistical problems or more time or anything like that?
Nah, I just think, I always tell these guys that I want to walk in my meeting room and everybody sitting around the table is a great player. And right now I'm probably as close to that as I've ever been. I've been in some meeting rooms where my guys were really good, but it's a pretty good crew. They're really good friends. They really work hard to grow and learn. I think they feel themselves getting better every day, learning more about football and concepts and how to see the game. So it's a pretty good group. All of them have respect from our team and in our locker room. Will has respect because he was a captain last year. Reggie has respect because he's won games for us. Kyle Bolin was put in a very extreme situation right out there in our home stadium, and he was able to come through for us. Tyler Ferguson on the practice field can throw the ball as well as anybody's ever seen, and then Lamar could be one of the best athletes that we have. So it's a good situation to have. We get a lot of reps at practice, so everybody's going to end up with a lot of reps. They're all going to get better. We just got to figure out which guy can focus and concentrate the longest and understand which guy will show up day in and day out and really concentrate on the details. And that's the guy that you go with when you get ready for the game.
Garrick, what have you, in the time you've been able to work with him and do limited stuff, what have you seen from Lamar? What's the adjustment? What do you think the adjustment will be like the first couple days for him?
Yeah. Well, one, he's a very explosive athlete. There's times when I'm talking with him and Reggie, and I'll say, Reggie, he makes you look slow, and you're really fast. And the kid has the ability to throw the football. He has a very, tight spiral. He has velocity on the ball. He can throw the ball all over the field. So we're really fortunate to have him in our program. There is an adjustment between high school play calling, high school defensive schemes, progression reading, understanding fronts and coverages. When you're in high school and you're that talented, you could just snap the ball and, just be more talented than everybody. Well, that doesn't work on this level. So there's more timing involved. There's more, understanding what you're looking at, knowing the right check to get to. There's a lot that goes into it. But we're really excited about the kid. He works hard. We spent a lot of time with him this summer, and it's important to him, so I'm excited for him.
Was this one of the more unique position battles you've seen as a coach or as a player, even just because you got so many guys who can do different things?
Well, we do have guys that can do different things, but I know for a fact that those kids, all 5 of them now, are really just concentrating on us winning. Just whatever we have to do to get our team in position to win. That's what they're concentrating on. I'm sure deep down they all want to be the starting quarterback. They better. That's what I would expect from them. But in reality, I want them to just concentrate on getting better every single day. Work on your game and get yourself in position to help our team win.
How conscious are you, given all that, of sending subliminal messages about the pecking order? Guys getting first-team snaps and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, what I try to do is talk with them in the meeting rooms about that, about the reps, and not, if we're in line doing an individual drill, the guy that runs up there and goes first does not necessarily mean he's the guy I'm thinking about being the starting quarterback. So we have open conversations in our meeting room about what this thing is going to look like. And I think if you do it like that and you're up front with them every day, that there's never any surprises. I don't see it being a problem at all.
Do you ever invoke the Ohio State situation from last year to keep them all in, where a third-team quarterback leads into the national title?
Well, yeah, that's something that we've talked about, that it took Ohio State 3 quarterbacks to win a national championship. Yeah.
And is that an experience you use with this situation with him and all these guys?
The answer is yes. But again, I really just talk about, we have our own experience that, Will was injured, Reggie was out there ready to play Kentucky, he gets hurt. Out of nowhere, Kyle runs in the game. Kyle passed for 380 yards. That you have to prepare yourself to be ready when your team needs you, and we don't know when that's going to happen. So we have our own experiences. It didn't end with a national championship, but we have our own experiences with the guys that are in the room that keep them concentrating and getting better. I think another thing, too, is that we're concentrating on training and developing pro quarterbacks. We pride ourselves in playing a pro-style offense, that we're going to teach our kids fronts and coverages and progression reads. We're going to teach them protection responsibilities, and that's going to give them the best opportunity to become pros. And I think that's something that they all, really take pride in. They're developing and learning football.
You played college football, so you know how much kids can pay attention to it. How much went into the coaches talking about not putting a depth chart in the media guide?
That was Rocco and Coach talking about that. I didn't even know anything about that. Yeah.
Rocco's call?
I doubt it was Rocco's call by his own.
Garrick, how much, in talking along those lines, Coach said the newcomers will be Lamar and
Tyler.
How much will there be any energy? Because if I remember last year, you all switched a few after a couple of days. Could that happen?
Well, there's a little bit different situation now because they're still in class. So some of it has to do with their class schedules, not necessarily in the quarterback situation, but it had to do with class schedules. And then when the weekend comes, we'll probably keep it about where it is for those first 4 days, and then we'll get out there. The whole team will be out there on the 5th day.
Which of the young, the freshman wide receivers do you see? Some of those guys can play this year.
There could be a few of them. We're really excited about Imani Spence. He can really run, He's got great movement. He's going to be able to get open. Devontae Pete is a 6'5" or 6'6" kid that can really run and jump for the ball. Travion was here with us in spring ball. Travion is a kid, when I was the coach at UAB before I got here, Travion came to my camp when he was a freshman. And he was as competitive and intense and good, and I offered him a scholarship right on the spot. Now, when he came here, he said, man, you were the first guy ever offered me a scholarship. And he's still a little guy, so imagine how small he was when he was a true freshman. So there's something about that kid that I've always, been in love with. And Jalen Smith is another one. Jalen is tall. He's got big hands, can really run and catch the football. So that position, I think we recruited really well in regards to our freshmen. And if you add, Jaquay and Jamari, those guys in with the new group of receivers, then you're looking at a really talented new group of receivers that we have.
What do you think of, that it turned out that Samuel ended up coming here and you got the coach?
I didn't, when we were here, he came in on a visit. LD, of course, recruited him, and he came in and he looked at me and he reminded me, and he had a picture of me and him from way back in the day, and I went, I do remember you now, but he was a lot bigger then. His neck was, I hate to say Travion was a lot bigger because he's still a little guy, but he looked a little different then.
They're going to make some decisions before they're announced. How soon will the players know where they stand with anyone?
Quarterback you're talking about? Yeah, I think they'll start to get the message once we start practicing. We'll come back in the evening time, evaluate each practice. They'll get communication, like tough communication about how they did on the practice session. Then we'll go back and practice again. And each day as we evaluate the practice with the players, they'll start to figure out, what's going on and what they have to develop and get better at for us to, put them out there. So I don't think once we decide who the quarterback's going to be, it won't be a surprise to the players because we're open with them every day.
Would you expect that to happen in the next 2 weeks, or is that further down the line?
Well, I've always said, as soon as one of them takes off and takes charge, so they're really in charge of it. Now, if no one does, we'll have to make a decision before the game. But hopefully one of those guys, takes off, takes charge, starts to be the leader of the team, starts to execute the offense at a higher level. That's what we're looking for.